Welcome to the Daily Influence, where our mission is to deliver a daily dose of positive influence that can uplift you personally or be shared within your sphere of influence. While not every episode may directly apply to your unique circumstances, we strive to provide insights and inspiration relevant to most people's daily, weekly, and monthly lives. Whether you are tuning in during the morning, noon, or night, the Daily Influence is here for you. Listen, share, and embrace the power of influence in your life. Hey everybody, it's Brian Smith with the Daily Influence, and this week I'm back in my office, as you can see, recording while you're listening. I think, we're in Scotland while you're listening to this, visiting Dundee and Elgin, Scotland. So our offices are in Elgin, Illinois. We actually get to visit Elgin, Scotland, what it was named after, and Dundee, Illinois, where I grew up, is named after Dundee, Scotland, which is a place that we're going to visit on this trip. But right now I'm recording from our offices here, and we're doing a recap today of Who Am I? We've spent the last 7 or 8 days diving into who we are and how it's relevant to our areas of influence. And these things are really important to understand as they help us build our foundation and help us have focus on who we are and where we want to go and what we want to do with this influence that we're responsible for at these times in our lives. So one of the things that we started with was ego, and how ego can help us or hinder us in how we understand our ego and how we use our ego to propel us and to influence us and to support our areas of influence in a positive way is really important. Slowing down, like we've talked about in the past, and understanding our ego and what we can do with that ego is really important. So we talked about that. That was in episode 18. Episode 19, we did some self-reflection. We talked about the power of self-reflection and how reflecting on self and reflecting on where we've come from and what we've done with our lives to this point, what's influenced us to this point, is really important and can be very powerful in understanding and managing who we are as individuals. Part of that self-reflection is learning about our roots and what our foundation is. And our roots, remember, don't define us, but they do provide us a part of how we might understand how we react to things, why we behave the way we do, some of the human tendencies that we have. And knowing those roots can be very beneficial in having control over our areas of influence and what we do with our areas of influence. Then in episode 21, we talked about who do you want to be? What's your purpose? Do you even think about your purpose? Who do you want to be? Who are you today, and maybe where are you going with this influence that you have? What are your goals? And what can you do with this foundation that you are now understanding and beginning to realize? How can you engage with it and use it to your benefit to be your best self, but also being your best self for others, so that in your areas of influence, you can have better control, better positive influence, better understandings of where you're at and where you're going. I did celebrate my 31st anniversary the other day, and it was amazing. We were in Colorado, and it's really, really good. Actually, we weren't in Colorado now that I think about it. We celebrated our anniversary in Ireland, and it is amazing that we've been 31 years together. And it is part of who I am, being as long as Renee and I have been together. And our relationships also partly define us. We all celebrate anniversaries of one thing or another. Slowing down and appreciating those moments in our life, those milestones that we have, are really important to helping define who we are and where we want to go, and the roles they play in the influence that we have. Episode 23 was self-deception, and how who I am is partly defined sometimes by how I deceive myself, how I lie to myself. And we all do this. We all trick ourselves into doing things, believing things, going along with things that we often wouldn't do if we really slowed down and thought about them deeper. So self-deception is something we do as humans. It's a way that we justify our actions, we justify our behaviors, we justify some of the decisions we make. Just make sure in your self-reflection that you don't deceive yourself, that you're honest, and that you are looking in the mirror clearly, not with rose-colored glasses, but with clear, objective glasses, and that the decisions you're making, the things you're pondering, are moving you in the direction of who you want to be, where you want to be, and the legacy that you might want to leave later. Our intuition plays a big part in what guides us. We talked about that in episode 24. Our intuition's so important. It's that inner voice that may tell you to do something or not to do something. And a lot of times we ignore our intuition and we don't really heed our internal advice that comes oftentimes from experience. Sometimes it's positive experience and sometimes it's negative experience. But slowing down allows us to hear our intuition and understand what it might be trying to say to us, what the universe even might be trying to say to us from that body of influence that we carry with us day in and day out. And then finally, we have about us is clarity. Through this whole who am I section, the goal was clarity about, well, who am I? And where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? And it's understanding what's coming up next the rest of this week in our foundation section, and understanding our foundation. And what we've been developing through this Who Am I is really an awareness of that foundation. So I look forward to speaking with you again tomorrow as we embark on the new chapter of foundation and self-awareness of ourselves and how we can be our best selves for other. And remember, if you haven't caught up, go back, listen to our episodes. There's a sequence to them, and help us to stay in touch and help you to be your best self and be your best positive influence in whatever area of influence you find yourself. Until tomorrow, I hope you have a great day. Bye.